ليلي سهرة عنا وعطلها 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 وعد عذبها في سننا كل يوم معروف وسامي عم تطر عين مرور عم تطر عين مرور عم جديد يا سهرة عنا وعطلها 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 Veronica, ya Veronica, lately is a harana. Wahatalaba, 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 wahatalaba. Anta adve ya Haida, Veronica, ya Veronica. Anta adve ya Haida. Bezug عناي، bezig totay، bezug عناي، bezig totay. Khatusi kurba. Shalom lechamit, rakak morido. Shalom lebetoni, shalom lebetoni. וצלצלי דולק כביל בתוך המים. يبارك ويزيدكم ألفين مبروك يا فيرونيكا وعلى طول يحبوك يا لويس ألفين مبروك يا أنتوني وعلى طول يحبوك يا كوين والليلة ليلتنا يا ليلة نفرحوا نغني بالمبروكينا والليلة ليلتنا يا ليلة نفرحوا نغني على بينا ألفين مبروك يا عريس مبروك مبروك عليك يا عريس مبروك مبروك عليك يا عريس مبروك الماضي بكم يهنيكم مبروك عليك يا عريس مبروك مبروك عليك يا عريس مبروك مبروك عليك يا عريس مبروك. Thank you. Una ותבוהר, הבא אלייך שובה, עם געגועים בלב, הולך מכאן, רונה, חוזר לשם, רונה, נשאר לכאן, רונה, הולך מכאן, רונה, חוזר לשם, רונה, נשאר לכאן, רונה, רונה שלי את רונה, שעון מורה שלום, מתי כבר 8, רוצה אותה לראות, רוצה קולך לשמוע, שעון מורה שלום, מתי כבר 8, רוצה אותה לראות, רוצה קולך לשמוע, הולך אולי קורא, ושם אני טועה, הולך אולי קורא, ושם אני תוהה, הולך מכאן רונה, חוזר לשם רונה, ושם לכאן רונה, הולך מכאן רונה, 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 חוזר לשם רונה, ושם לכאן רונה, רונה שלי את רונה, שעון מורה שלום, מתי כבר 8, רוצה אותך לראות, רוצה קודם אליי קורא, ושם אני תוהה, הולך מכאן רונה, חוזר לשם רונה, ושם לשם רונה, הולך מכאן רונה, ושם לשם רונה, ושם לשם רונה, רונה שלי את רונה, הולך מכאן רונה, 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 חוזר לשם רונה, ושם לשם רונה, ורוניקה, רונה. מכאן שרה, חוזר לשם שרה, משם לשם שרה, הולך מכאן שרה, 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 משם לכאן שרה, משם לשם שרה, רונה שלי את שרה, שעון מורה שלום, מתי כבר 8, שיוצא לאור, שעון מורה שלום, מתי כבר 8, שיוצא לאור, הולך אליי קורא, ושם אני טועה, הולך אליי קורא, ושם אני טועה, הולך מכאן שרה, חוזר לשם שרה, משם לשם שרה, הולך מכאן שרה, משם לשם שרה, חוזר לשם שרה, עונה שלי את שרה, והולך מכאן שרה, חוזר לשם אותי מזנון, אוי שרה, 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 אני כבר לא יכול, אוי שרה, 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 אתן לך את הכל, אוי כפרה ותחלול, את עושה אותי מזנון. יומה שלי נרנתי, תמתי, את היחידה בתוך נשמתי, עולה מעלייך ולא יכול לשתות, הלב בוער בוחרים על הזלזות. יומה שלי כתבתי לך שירים, אבל ברדיו לא משדרים, ואת אולי היפה בנשים, אז למה את עושה את החיים של שיגעון? אוי שרה, 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 אני כבר לא יכול, אוי שרה, 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 אתן לך את הכל, אוי כפרה וטעם בחלאווה, את עושה אותי מזנון, אוי שרה, 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 אני כבר לא יכול, אוי שרה, 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 אתן לך את הכל, אוי כפרה וטעם בחלאווה, את עושה אותי מזנון, אוי כפרה וטעם בחלאווה, את עושה אותי מזנון, הולך מכאן שרה, חוזר לשם שרה, משם לשם שרה, הולך מכאן שרה, משם לשם שרה, משם לשם יהדהדו בהמון צלילים, ואיתנו הם יאמרו הללויה. 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 על יום שביעי. הללויה.
What do you need me for then?
My aunt Beryl, who unfortunately couldn't be here today because she's in hospital recovering from an operation, but I'm sure we wish her a speedy recovery. This is of course a very happy occasion, but the happiness is tempered slightly by the sadness of the absence of Veronique's mother, Giselle. She sadly passed away at a very young age, and it's particularly sad on a day like this when she would have been so proud of Sara, who was her first grandchild and who she had a very soft spot for. I thought I should tell you a little bit about Sara tonight, because although many of you know her, some of you know her better than others, and I'm in a good position to tell you a little bit about her, although I won't pretend that I'm not biased. I thought I'd begin by telling you what she was like at the age of 2. I think Veronique and I realized that we had quite a handful with Sara when we took her and with her French grandparents to a smart restaurant, and she decided to see what it was like to put butter in her hands and then squeeze it. I'm pleased to say she's behaving a little bit better tonight. At the age of 4, she turned out to be a talented linguist, and I'll never forget the time when she sat between her 2 grandfathers and had a conversation with one in English and turned to the other one and started speaking in French. we're all very impressed with her linguistic skills. I think that parents, and I include Veronique and me, we like to give our children things that we didn't have when we were growing up. But I must admit that's a little bit difficult because neither of us had a particularly deprived background. But there are two things that we're proud about which we've given to Sara. Firstly, she's the first person in either family to show any musical talent, and I'm pleased to say that she's continuing with her studies at the piano, although there are other members of the family who are now joining her. Secondly, neither Veronique nor I had a particularly strong Jewish education other than Cheder, and Sara is already way ahead of us in her Jewish knowledge, and we never really intended to give Sara a secondary education of the Jewish school, but when her teacher at primary school said that she was one of the most talented Jewish studies students they'd ever had, we thought it would be a shame not to give her the opportunity to continue, and she's still doing very well. As you can see this evening, I think Jewish traditions are very important in our family, and I'm very proud of the rich Sephardi tradition which Veronique has brought not only to me and our children but also to the whole family here in London. And that brings me to Veronique. I have to say a word about her. I think everybody will agree that she's really a very special person. She's got a lot of talent, a terrific talent, both as a wife and a mother. And I think everybody will agree her cuisine is renowned throughout Hampstead Garden suburb. I want to give Sara one piece of advice tonight, and I hope she will remember it as she grows up. Listen to the advice of your mother. I would say listen to the advice of your mother and father, but I think Sara already knows who's the boss and who's the cleverest one in our house. I'd like to finish by saying that we are, of course, a close family here in London, and we all get together most Fridays with my sisters and my parents. And I'm pleased to say that the next generation seems to be carrying on in the same way. Sara is not only close to her brother Joshua and her sister Tanya, but she's also close to her cousin Sophie and David, who are shortly together going to make a little presentation for Sara. Now I have to say a few words in French for the people who haven't understood anything I've said so far. Chers amis et familles, la dernière fois que je vous ai adressé, j'ai commencé avec le mot « ma femme et moi ». Je le répéterai « ma femme et moi ». Et je vais commencer avec la même façon aujourd'hui. Nous sommes enchantés d'avoir autant d'amis et familles francophones parmi nous ce soir, en cette occasion très spéciale pour notre famille. J'espère que c'est le premier de plusieurs simchas pour la famille Lewis, et que nous célébrons ensemble en de nombreuses joyeuses occasions. En l'occasion très spéciale de la bat mitzvah de Sara, nous sommes tous attristés par l'absence très douloureuse de la maman de Veronique, Gisèle. Nous aimerions tous qu'elle voie combien sa petite fille a grandi. Pourtant, nous avons la conviction qu'elle est spirituellement parmi nous et qu'elle est fière de Sara, particulièrement demain, quand Sara participera à la cérémonie religieuse à la synagogue. Les traditions sont très importantes pour Veronique et moi. Vous pouvez constater ce soir que bien que Veronique habite à Londres depuis maintenant plus que 15 ans, elle n'a en aucune façon oublié ses racines et traditions marocaines et françaises, avec lesquelles elle a été élevée et qu'elle transmet à nos enfants, en particulier à Sara. Votre présence nous a comblés et a transformé ce week-end en une vraie occasion familiale. Maintenant, vous allez voir les deux. Sara elle va avoir une présentation maintenant de sa sœur et son frère, et de sa cousine Sophie et son cousin David. Allez, viens. Come here, kids. Take it into
Make it lower.
Okay.
Sara Giselle Lewis. This is the story of Sara Giselle. She's my big sister, so I know her well. The eldest daughter of Mum and Dad. We're best of friends, of that I'm glad. She was born in '83, that's 4 years before even me. I'm Sara's cousin, David Gordon. I sometimes play with her in London, but I like it best in Kiryat Gat, where we go in summer and need a hat. It's very hot when we swim and play at the house of Sara's puppy Andre. Sara's mum is Auntie Vero. She was born in Morocco. When Sara was little, she learned Francais, which was quite unusual in Osselton Way. Now Sara speaks English and Hebrew too, which isn't bad amongst our crew. This is my chance to tell the truth, but Dad said that would be uncouth. Sara isn't all she seems. She bites and fights and even screams. I could tell you what she's really like, but then I would be on my bike. Sara, this is your batmitzvah. We hope you enjoy it with a smile. We really love you with all our might, and now we want to dance all night.
Family and friends. As you can imagine, this weekend of my batmitzvah is a very important one in my life, and I hope that you all are enjoying yourselves as much as I am. I am so pleased to see so many people who have come from other countries, including Israel, Morocco, America and France. I know that having a mum from France makes me a bit different, and I think you will agree that this occasion is a good example of the mix of Ashkenazi and Sephardi Jews from around the world. There are so many thank yous that I need to say, and I'm not sure where I should start. But I think that I should first say a very big thank you to Tanya, Sophie, David and Josh for saying a kind, or from Josh, a not so kind poem for me. I would also like to say a big thank you to Mum and Dad for making this party happen, and it's really great. Even though my family is spread around the world, we are all very close, and I'm lucky to have my grandma and grandpa from Swiss Cottage, as well as my pappy from Kiryat Gat here. My only regret is that my mummy Giselle, who I'm named after, is not here, but I will be thinking about her. Just as my dad spoke separately to the people from France, it is now my turn to say a speech in French and show you how good I am at speaking the language. Chers amis et famille, mes parents et moi aimerions tout d'abord vous dire combien nous sommes heureux de vous avoir parmi nous à Londres à l'occasion de ma batmitzvah. Le fait d'avoir une maman française et un papa anglais est un privilège que j'apprécie énormément, car il me permet de connaître différentes cultures et différentes cuisines, comme ce couscous par exemple que j'adore. J'aimerais également vous remercier pour vos vœux et cadeaux, en espérant qu'aujourd'hui sera aussi mémorable pour vous que pour moi. Merci.
Can it said in Moroccan? We haven't heard Moroccan.
This is in English, and for those who don't understand that, I'll make it up. Ladies and gentlemen, and Sara, firstly, let me state that this will, uncharacteristically for me, be a very brief speech, without an appeal, and in English only. To your and our many friends from abroad, je suis très désolé. Mais je ne parle pas français bien. Jonathan ou Sara expliquera mes mots en retard. Whilst this is Sara's weekend, and we all look forward to your day in shul tomorrow. Behind every bat chayil, there are proud and relieved parents, as well as appreciative and grateful guests. It's my pleasure to extend a vote of thanks to Veronique and Jonathan for their hospitality and continued friendship. But for those who may not be aware, we celebrate another milestone. We mark the birthday of a distinguished chief executive, the son of a well-known and successful retailer, and a generous benefactor to a range of causes. Yes, it's happy birthday, Lord Sainsbury. The problem is that he does not know that he's been sharing his birthday with Jonathan for the last 40 years. Jonathan has this week crossed that great divide, unexperienced by some of us, where the promise of eternal youth is replaced with some anxiety and a future of mature reflection. Funnily enough, it was Henry who once commented, at some other simcha, that at 30, one had reached the old age of youth, but at 40, you're now entering the youth of old age. This is Jonathan's new dilemma. Ladies and gentlemen, on occasions like this, old family friends will tell Sara that they remember when she was in the pram, or that it only seemed like yesterday that they were batmitzvahed. Well, in my case, Sara, it's true. I can generally say the same of your dad. In fact, it's fair to say that Jonathan is one of my oldest friends. But of course, we have inherited this mantle from a very long and enduring friendship, namely our respective parents. But, as you've already heard, this is Sara's weekend. But she has very graciously agreed to share the spotlight for this brief moment with her father. Look, I don't want to exaggerate the extent of our friendship, but not only were we in the pram together, we were at school together, we even lived next door to each other as bachelors. But that's until Jonathan went to Disneyland and found his fairy princess, Veronique, who became his new best friend. Fortunately, after I tried to cook for them, they finally recognized that I needed looking after, and they accommodated me further by introducing me to my wife. But they realized that this is a long-standing relationship and friendship. Sara, your dad is mentor, sage, and friend to you, Joshua and Tanya, and assumes a similar role for many of his friends who are here this evening. You'll note from these comments that Jonathan has taught me everything that I know. The shame is he didn't teach me everything that he knows. And Jonathan, they tell me that at the onset of middle age will not be a problem for you. We have note that your renowned broad mind